Nine strikes on Venezuela. Horrible people breaking in drugs.
Be happy.
Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves. Did you know that? Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves. If the whole world was LA, Venezuela is Diddy's house. Largest proven oil reserves. Okay? So they got the most oil in the world. And we are interested in overthrowing the current regime there, but it's not even about oil, it's about drugs. The oil happens to be there. Oh my God. What a coincidence. They're like, we're just here for the drugs, man. Oh, you got oil? Oh, shit, what's up? You got oil? Oh, I guess we'll stay a little longer then. You got oil? Oh, shit. Dude, I didn't even know you had oil, man. I love oil. Is that good? Oh, that's good, man. That's good stuff. Ooh, that's good. That's so good, man. We started by seizing and bombing the drug boats. The drug boats that we couldn't even prove were drug boats. And now we just seized an oil boat. We just seized an oil boat off the coast of Venezuela. Okay? What happened to the drug boats? Okay? But in our defense, of course, oil is our drug. Okay? Right? We love that shit. Okay? And so they just seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, and it was done in a very illicit manner. Okay? It was done in a very shady manner, if you will, allegedly. Okay? When you seize a ship, there is protocol. It's kind of weird that you're like, oh, seize my ship politely, please. You're supposed to warn the ship, tell them to remove their cargo first, and then seize it as a political move. I don't know what you would call it. I don't even know why we do this shit. It's just so weird. But you basically seize it as a political move, right? And we did not do that. We just straight took that shit and the cargo. Or we pretended we're like, oh, there's cargo here? Oh, I guess we'll keep it. That's what Trump said. He's like, I guess we'll keep the oil. I guess. There was 2 million barrels of oil on that ship. Equivalent of $150 million. That's not a ship seizing, that's a robbery, bruh. Okay? You wonder why crime is so high in America? Look at our role models, dude. That's not a ship seizing, that's a ship jacking, okay? We straight up took the oil. 150 million barrels, man. And all of us Americans should look at that and be like, that's a crime. That's a crime. That's a crime. Yep. Right? As an American, the only two logical thoughts you can have are, that's a crime, and are you going to share it with me? That's the only logical thought you could have. But you got to have the first one first. Okay? No, of course. We don't want stolen oil, right, guys? We don't want stolen oil? No? No. Okay, good. Well, stop using oil then, because we're kind of stealing it from like everywhere though. But we're already having a hard time affording basic things, right? Like, do you know the price of eggs went up 150% last year? So for every dollar you used to spend on eggs, you now spend $1.50. Yeah. So now when I go buy eggs, I cut 4 out of the carton, try to buy a carton 8. I'm like, can you give me the same price last year? And they're like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, you don't understand inflation? And so I get it. We're all trying to struggle. We're all trying, and you know, the government, meanwhile, they're doing their shady shit. They're trying to accumulate oil, but they're pretending like there's drugs. They claim Venezuela is sending cocaine, which is, first of all, not true. Okay, it's Mexico. Okay. Sorry. Secondly, yeah. Secondly, if you're waging a war on cocaine, you're really disregarding the literal, possibly thousands, possibly even millions of tax-paying cocaine users in the United States, okay? I'm just saying, there's a lot of them out there. You may not know because you haven't busted in the bathroom at the right time, but you'll see it. It's out there. Wall Street is fueled by cocaine, okay? If you remove cocaine, our stock market will crash immediately. Like, you don't even know how many people in this country use cocaine. Okay? But, see? Is it ironic that he's the only one laughing? He's on another level. He's on hyper speed right now. This guy's time travel in his own mind. But that's not even the problem with cocaine. They're claiming that the problem is people are ODing on the cocaine because it's laced with fentanyl. Okay, fine. So then go after the fentanyl, right? And they're saying, well, the fentanyl's coming from Venezuela. No, it's not. It's also coming from Mexico. Sorry, I'm not trying to pick on Mexico here. I'm just going with what I read, okay? The chemicals that make fentanyl come from China, and some also from India. Shout out, okay? Okay, so it mostly comes from China, some comes from India, and then it's cooked in Mexico, okay? Which just sounds like a racist American joke. We get the parts from China on the cheap. India comes through with the tech support. And then the real work is done by Mexicans in the kitchen. I'm not making that joke. This is how fentanyl is made, okay? And then we're the dumb Americans who are like, yum, Fenty, yummy, yummy, yummy. Me likey so much. So we play a role in this shit too. But they're claiming it's fentanyl, and they're claiming that Venezuela is aggressively pushing it when there's no evidence to support that. And they're trying to use words to intimidate us. They're saying, they're narco-terrorists. Which, as a Middle Eastern person, I find that offensive, okay? Because that's what you used to call us. You can't just give away our slur. You know what I mean? If they're narco-terrorists, am I just an original terrorist? Like what? Am I a standard terrorist 1.0? Am I an OT? Narco-terrorist. You can just put a word in front of terrorists because it's a different race of people. Are Asians math terrorists? That's not cool. And of course, white people, domestic terrorists, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. They want the oil. They're pretending like they don't want the oil. It's so specific because they want the oil in the exact way they want the oil, all right? Maduro is now running Venezuela, and he's even offered us some oil, but not all of it, and we don't like that, right? So they want to remove him. They want to put in our puppet, Nobel Peace kind of winner thingy person. They want to put her in and replace Maduro. And Maduro, you know, maybe he didn't win the election fairly, but it's like, neither do we out here, you know? And so we're claiming it's also about democracy. And Maduro, he's trying to work it out. He's like, listen, I'll do anything except step down. And we're like, okay, we hear that, and we'll do anything except not let you step down. And so we're kind of at like a gridlock, and you know, they're pretending it's about the drugs, but it's about the oil, and they're just acting like they can just go to a country and just take it over. This is the problem with calling the United States America, right? We see other places in the world that also have America in the title, and we're like, oh, that's ours, I think. No, they're like, oh, that's just South America, right? That's us. All we have to do is cross the Gulf of America to get to the south part of America. So shady, man. The United States really is the Diddy of the world. You know what I mean? We like to control everybody. Sure, we help some countries, but we also molest them. Some countries we hate so much that we have them taken out, pretend like we didn't do it. We're addicted to oil. And our biggest enemy, inflation, which right now is 50 cents. And yes, 50 cents is not a lot of dollars to our empire, so let's just say it's regime change. Born and raised Arizona, where are we at? Pride, hell yeah. Here in this area?
Yep, born and raised.
You got a deep voice, man, I fucking like it. Is that from all that dry heat? Puts the vocal cords down lower register. Fuck yeah, from the desert, man. Yeah, awesome. Dude, would you recommend it to other people who want to move here?
No.
Is that no because you don't want more people here, or you don't? Well, apparently you guys.
We don't want them here.
You don't want them here.
We don't want them here.
Okay, fine. I didn't like the way you said them, to be honest. It was. You could have just said we don't want more people here. You're just kind of implying we don't want them here. Who do you mean specifically? California. I fucking knew it. I knew you didn't want us here. Well, guess what? We're just one border away, and we're coming over in droves. You have no fucking choice. Get ready for higher taxes, because that's what we like. Anybody have something they want me to talk about? Statistics? As if we didn't cover that enough, all right? Okay, I'm cool with that. Anything else? Fucking what?
Not your mom.
Not my mom.
Yeah, don't do that.
What? You don't want me to talk about my mom?
No.
Okay. No, but this is interesting because this is like a math thing, right? It's like, for people who know math, in the space of things to talk about, there's my mom, and then there's not your mom. And he's talking about the dark outer space outside of that circle.
I'm a teacher. Woo!
Okay, calm down. This is not the fucking union, all right? But it's good. We got teachers here, apparently. That's what I appeal to. Fantastic. You teach math?
Geometry.
Okay, cool. Hey. For those of you not familiar, that is math. This is stats. Are you a stats guy?
Yeah.
Do you study stats and sort of? Yeah, kind of, sort of?
That's what I got into afterwards, after college.
After college. That's a very weird transition. You study statistics, or you just like got interested in
I
it?
got
It's
into
kind of
the analytics.
a hobby. Fuck yeah. So you're familiar with like the normal distribution, and
Nothing that has to do with trucks.
that's what you work in? Trucks?
Scheduling for trucks.
Scheduling trucks. And you use stats.
Logistic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Keeping it very broad over there. You know who's also into logistics? Not my mom, okay? What else? Anything else you want me to talk about?
Black women.
Okay, I heard one here. I heard one here, and I heard it. And what was the one over here?
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, and we had a sec. Can you shout it out again?
Black women.
Love it. These are great subjects. Artificial intelligence. A lot of people are very worried that it might replace us, take our jobs. Is anybody here concerned? You don't think that it could do that same optimization to figure out those truck routes?
Still need people.
Too many people?
Still need people to fix
Still
it
need
in
people.
between.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Anybody here legitimately worried that AI is going to take their job? Yes, you are. You're also worried about them coming to Arizona too, or what? We don't want them here.
I teach, and they already
You
are
teach?
doing it.
Oh shit, you teach. What do you teach?
English,
English.
and they're already doing it.
They're already fucking doing it. Really? The AI is teaching English?
No, they're already like planning it and doing like their essays and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, you can ask ChatGPT to write an essay. Oh, so the kids are using it to
They're
cheat
already
their.
using it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not really taking your job. You're still getting work. You know what I mean?
I'm
You're,
not babysitting.
yeah.
They
you're
keep
babysitting.
$30,000 babysitting, so there you go.
Fucking flex. All right. It's a sweet gig. It's a fucking sweet gig. I made
It's
30.
not.
Okay. I can see why you're drinking tonight. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress being an English teacher. I personally think that if you understand algorithms, the AI will at some point be sophisticated enough to take literally any job, even stand-up comedy. They're actually making jokes. They're not funny, but neither were mine in year one either. Give them 16 years, they'll be up here talking about Pythagoras. But there is one group of people that AI will never replace, and that is black women. That is black women. Irreplaceable. I assure you. They've tried. They don't have it. Do you live here in Arizona?
Yes.
Do you feel like there's enough black women here?
No.
What?
Who was that? Somebody you know, or? Okay. We have a couple, right? So more black women in Arizona is what you would like.
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about that? Huh? How do you feel about that? Is it okay for them to come over? Yo, suddenly you love it. Suddenly you...
A lot of people go to the doctor when they're sick. I don't do that. I go to the doctor when I'm perfectly healthy. Just to flex on them a little bit. You know what I mean? Just be like, I don't fucking need you. But it wasn't like a real doctor. It was like one of those like allergy test doctors. More of a witch doctor, if you ask me. And the doctor told me that I have a chocolate allergy and I should stop eating chocolate. I have never wanted to almost kill somebody in my life. I almost killed that guy. I swear to God, I was like about to strangle him. Because I love chocolate, and there's nothing coming in the way between me and chocolate. Not a doctor, not a human being. Exactly, you feel the same way?
Absolutely.
How much chocolate do you eat a day?
About like 50 grams.
50 grams. Can somebody translate that to kilos for me? I need to know. How much is that in kilos?
A little less than 2 ounces.
A little less than 2 ounces. Fantastic. So what do you like dark? Or you like milk? Or what do you?
I don't discriminate.
You don't discriminate. That's the kind of attitude we need here in America. That's the racist litmus test. How do you like your chocolate? Oh, well. If there's somebody that says, I only eat white chocolate, that person has got some opinions. When somebody says they only eat dark chocolate, like, good for their health, but like, yeah, they definitely have a racism thing too. What's your favorite like thing to have in chocolate? Is it almonds or?
Well, almonds would kill me, so not that.
Almonds will kill you. Isn't that amazing? She eats fucking 10 kilos of chocolate a day. 50 grams. She eats 50 grams, almost 2 ounces of chocolate a day. But then one almond will end her life. Damn, that's crazy.
Just chocolate and bread.
Just chocolate and bread? That's a new one. Yeah. She's like, almonds will kill me, but gluten, fucking take that shit. Eat chocolate and bread like a chocolate sandwich, or what do you do? Yeah, oh no shit. Oh, well, I took a guess and I was right. So let me get this right. Do you use 2 pieces of bread?
Yes.
Oh shit. I want to roll right now. I thought she was gonna be like, no, you fucking idiot. I put it on like avocado toast, but chocolate toast. No, you use 2 pieces of bread and you put the chocolate inside.
Right.
Do you melt it?
Well, I can warm up the bread. and
You
then-
warm up the bread and the chocolate nicely melt. I'm getting so fucking horny right now. I swear to God. Chocolate is not something you get hungry for. You get horny for chocolate. That's how it works. Anybody who has a chocolate addiction knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not actual hunger. That sounds amazing. What kind of bread do you use?
Trader Joe's the one that you can bake, like extra.
Trader Joe's the one that you can bake.
Yeah.
Oh, so the dough.
No, not the dough.
Oh.
There's no dough at Trader Joe's.
There's no dough at Trader Joe's. What? I don't fucking believe that. Now you're lying to me. You didn't have to go that far. Just trust me, there's no dough at Trader Joe's. I definitely bought Trader Joe's pizza crust before. That's fucking, there's definitely dough. Yeah, 3 people are calling you out right now on your bullshit.
You can bake
The dough that they have or the bread that you use?
the bread. It's like half cooked. And then
Oh, it's half-cooked bread. How the fuck is that supposed to be? I'm fucking high right now, okay? How was I supposed to know that her bread and I are both half-baked? So you get to half-baked bread. You put it in the oven so that it gets fully baked. You don't put the chocolate in the oven. You just nicely lay the chocolate on and watch it melt into the bread like butter.
or you can slide it in.
You slide it in. Oh, okay. Now you go through. Boy, you teasing me now. Oh my God. Somebody bring me a pair of pants. Okay. So you slide the chocolate. You like so because the bread is you have 2 pieces stacked, right?
Well, no, it's like a baguette. You just
It's like a baguette, and then you slice it.
no.
No. Oh, you stick the chocolate inside of the interior. This is getting real fucking. This is food porn sexual. Okay. But do you cut off the end of the baguette so that you can slide it in? You have to. Or there's no. Of course, you fucking idiot, of course. So you slice off the end of the baguette after you've baked it.
Possibly.
Possibly. Does it not have ends on it? Is there something you're not telling me here?
There are different sizes.
There's different sizes. Okay. Listen. I get it. It's not about the size. It's the motion of the baguette into the oven. I've fucking heard this before. Trust me. What color do you like? I don't discriminate. Okay, listen. Okay. There's different sizes of the Trader Joe's baguette. The bigger ones for the dark chocolate. What the fuck? You did not just say that. You did not just say that. The big ones for the dark chocolate. How dare you have the funniest moment of the night at my show? That is wrong. That is wrong.
No nuts, no nuts.
But no nuts, because that'll kill him. Okay. So you slide the chocolate in, no cuts, no incisions. You just slide it into that gooey interior of the bread, and it melts, and it becomes like a chocolate-centered bread. I got it. I fucking figured it out. And you eat this nearly every day?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a happy person? She's very happy. You understand? She's very happy. She lives in Los Angeles and is very happy. Because a lot of us here in LA feel hollow inside. You just gotta slide some chocolate in there. What else?
Beer.
Beer?
Beer. Yes. Beer.
You really agree. It's like, yes! That's a fantastic choice. What was the one in the back?
Billy Zane.
Who? The way you said it.
Deviation.
Who?
Standard deviation.
I like how I thought you were helping clarify what this person said, but you were taking me one standard deviation further. What was the one back here, though? I just want to know.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. I've heard this name before. Who is that?
He's like some random person in Zoolander one time.
He's some random person in Zoolander one time. Well, thank you so much for bringing up a topic that's 3 standard deviations away from the main. But it seems like beer is what we got over here. Are you a beer drinker? Of course, the fuck. Of course. How many beers do you drink a day?
Not enough.
Not enough. That's what is stopping you from not drinking the beer that you want to drink?
How to drive?
You have to drive. That's a good answer. I mean, there's a lot of answers you gotta give it. But driving, I'd say that's the most responsible one, but I'm also quite concerned because he still loves beer. It's like, I drink 7, but I had to drink 6.5 because I gotta drive. What age did you start drinking beer?
Like 55.
55?
25.
25. I was gonna say, holy shit, you started drinking a beer at 55. That explains why you want to talk about it. 25 though, but that's still late enough for you to be like, fuck yeah, it feels like the first time every time. You know what I mean? How did you avoid it for those 4 years of your legal drinking age?
I just didn't.
You didn't drink up until you tried beer at 25?
That's about right, yeah.
You know, clearly you didn't drink for a reason. It was like a religious reason or something? Just kind of a straight and narrow kind of guy, like, you know, show up to work, do the job,
Yeah.
drive home. You're like, what?
Beer! Oh my god!
Yeah. You love beer like she loves chocolate.
Funny enough, I don't like Bud Light, but
You don't like Bud Light, but you're wearing a Bud Light hat. The irony.
I went to Dodgers game today. None of them have anything Dodgers, so this is the blue that I have. So that's why.
No, of course, they do. Listen, no, a Bud Light hat, there's something very respectable about that. Are you from LA?
I live here now. I'm from Mexico.
From Mexico. Best tacos in the world.
Michoacan.
Michoacan.
Like down.
Yeah, down. I know where to. I looked on a map a couple times. How old were you when you moved to the States?
17 years, 11 months.
Dude, that's some accuracy right there. Right? 17 years, 11 months, 3 days. So you came here at 17, and then you turned 18, and then you did. And then you fucking laughing like I made that up. You didn't skip straight to 25. Turned 18, you turned 25, somebody hands you a beer.
Okay, so I didn't drink or anything. Then I went to the army.
Okay.
And I went to basic training. And then sometime we went out. I drank the beer. Actually, that's a dark beer. Sure, I'm gonna give it a try. It was Guinness. I'm like,
Guinness. That was your liver singing?
please don't.
I'd like to first point out, only in LA. LA is the one city where he was like, I served in the army and nobody fucking clapped. You fucking ungrateful, unpatriotic. This is why China's gonna fuck us in the ass. That's awesome. So you went to the military and your boys went out one night, you and your posse, and they handed you a beer?
I had a beer, yes.
You had a beer, and you had just one.
That's it, and 1 becomes 2, and 3 and 4, and you know.
That's good. That's beer math right there. 1 becomes 2, and 2 becomes 3, and 3 becomes 4. How many did you drink that first night?
Blackout.
Wow! And it still loves it. That's such a rare thing to be like, I blacked the fuck out the first night. What do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a safety specialist, make sure that people don't kill themselves.
Only in LA would only 3 people clap for that. He makes sure people don't kill themselves, and you're like, no, this is LA, we like that. Do you talk to people in the flesh, or do you call them or talk on phone?
No, I mean, actually, like we follow OSHA. Like,
You what?
safety as we call OSHA,
Oh, OSHA.
safety specialist for.
Make sure people don't kill themselves.
It works.
I totally misheard. I thought it was like a suicide hotline. You guys, did anybody else think that? Okay, just want to make sure. You guys still didn't clap for that, but OSHA, so safety.
Yeah.
You make sure people don't kill themselves.
At work.
At work. You're still a goddamn hero, buddy. Now listen, I'm not your employer. Your employer's not here. You ever drink on the job? Good man. Good man. And that's why he likes beer, okay? Because I'm a comedian, I can have as many drinks as I want at the job. And that's why I'm not out here excited about it. Okay? He does his job, and then he goes home, has about 7 beers, blacks out, calls it a day. Right? That's real love. So beer, that one person, standard deviation. I stay true to my requests. Are you a stats person?
Yes.
Major or?
Minor.
Okay. What was your major?
Music composition.
Okay. I hate to be like stereotyping, but you look like you did music composition. For sure. It's the jacket, for sure. Math and music are quite related. Did you ever try to like flex that stats minor for something, or just really just for your own comedy show experience?
Just your show, Sammy.
I appreciate that so much. Now, understand, there's a lot of comedians in this world. My show is the only safe space where you can bring up standard deviation and not be judged. Yeah. Nobody ever goes to a live event and brings up stats. It takes a very strange person. I mean, in all due respect, it takes a very strange person. Someone far away from the norm. Someone very far away from the norm. And if you didn't understand standard deviation, now you do. Have you been to jail?
Yeah, I did 6 years. It's hard to explain to people how long 6 years is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a really random number. Like, I was locked up for a decade. We get what that is. When I got locked up, Biggie had not released the song yet.
Whoa.
By the time I came home, Biggie was dead. Like, that's how quick Biggie's career was, but how long it was for me to be locked up.
It was all a dream. Felonious Monk.
Yeah.
Is that, do you go by Felonious or by Monk?
Monk.
Okay.
Mostly. Arif occasionally, because that's my it's on my birth certificate and stuff. Yeah, that was an accident.
Yeah.
You've never heard this story, Sammy.
No, I've never heard it. Tell me.
If you want to know how I got the name.
How'd they put on the marquee? Or sorry.
The joke was a buddy of mine was trying to figure out a good screen name for me because Black Twitter, if you're unfamiliar with that as a place, is full of punny names, right? So everyone, like I used to be Wave Chappelle at one point, right? So a buddy of mine says, "Ooh, I got one for you." He was like, Ghetto Gandhi. And I was like, I don't think Gandhi likes black people. So I don't think you can use that one.
Why Ghetto Gandhi, though? Like, what was his reason?
I think his reasoning was that my jokes always, I tried at the very beginning to have a point. I was really on my Dick Gregory. I want every joke to have meaning.
Yeah.
But also, I said nigga a lot. So it was like, there's got to be some way to balance those two things. And so he went Ghetto Gandhi, and I shot that down. And he was like, maybe 10 minutes later, he goes, Felonious Monk. And I was like, yeah, I like that. And I made that my screen name. And then I got booked. My first headlining gig was at Gotham in New York. And no one asked me what I wanted to be billed as. They just put Felonious Monk on the marquee. And I think, if we're being honest, that the booker thought that was my legal name.
Wow.
Because he actually paid me my check, my first big comedy check, said Felonious Monk. Luckily, Bank of America doesn't give a shit as long as the check clears. They don't care what the name is on it. So, yeah.
But your real name's Arif.
Arif Shahid, because I'm a very knowledgeable witness. Or that's what they want you to believe.
That's what it is? That's what it means?
That's what it means. Yeah. Arif is supposed to be a person who's a teacher and educator. And I take my responsibility seriously, Sammy.
I see it.
Definitely educate people through my comedy.
Is it knowledgeable witness also a snitch?
That's a confidential informant. Very different thing. I'm very pro not snitching. I do think there's I'm glad you brought that up. Long time ago, I used to do WPIX 11. I used to do like news commentary. And on Pix 11, I remember Jody Applegate was the anchor for the evening news. And I sat down in a chair. They were introducing me as their new like correspondent. It was basically a Daily Show type of deal.
Welcome, Ghetto Gandhi.
And she, Felonious Monk, ladies and gentlemen. And then she goes, so, you're pro snitching. I was like, whoa, no, I'm not. And she looked at me like, this is what my notes say.
Yeah.
And I didn't have time to explain to her that there is a difference between a person who is not involved in crime, who witnesses a crime, and then gives a statement about that crime, and a person who is involved in the crime, who then tells you about the crime to prevent themselves from going to jail. The second person is a snitch. The first person is a witness. And I don't think that people should be afraid to be witnesses. I do know that saying that is easier than, not getting shot for telling something. But the two aren't the same as, At this point, I don't commit crimes anymore, so I would suggest you not doing shit in front of me. You shoot a motherfucker around me, and they catch me on camera close to the gunshots. The motherfucker had on blue, and I don't know what kind of car it was, but it was white.
Right.
And it had 4 doors. His name was Kevin Jones. Kevin Jones, he lives at 42. Probably not, but still.
You had that name down pretty well.
Because I saw Kevin Jones shoot something. And I wish the police would take me seriously. Come get Kevin Jones. If there's a Kevin Jones out there watching this, you know what you did. You know what you did, dog.
This is a question based off of something that I've heard just maybe 10 minutes ago. Have you been to jail?
Damn it. Stop snitching, Sammy. No, you weren't involved in the crime. I have. I did 6 years in prison as a child. It wasn't a child.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a teenager. But I did 6 years, and the story is that I never got arrested for the shit that I did, but the shit that I didn't do, I ended up doing time for. But it's hard. I've said this on stage recently. It's hard to explain to people how long 6 years is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a really random number. Like, I was locked up for a decade. We get what that is. 6 years is just weird. And the only way I can describe it is when I got locked up, Biggie had not released the song yet.
Whoa.
By the time I came home, Biggie was dead. Like, that's how quick Biggie's career was, but how long it was for me to be locked up. There was no when I got locked up, but when I came home, was gone. It was like resting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it was all a dream.
It was, that was a really good, thank you. That's a tag.
Were you exposed to Biggie or Tupac while you were in jail?
Yeah, so I was locked up with a bunch of New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of West Coasters who really, really loved Pac. Yeah. And so that was a debate in prison too. Like they were still the biggest radio acts, and Biggie was the most representative of New York. Brooklyn is everywhere. Biggie is everywhere. Biggie was the biggest New York rap artist at the time. And Pac's whole persona, the charisma, the fact that he got locked up and came out of being locked up and then drops a song called California Love as an East Coast guy who basically just defected.
Right.
Like he's a Cuban baseball player who was like, hey, California's got freedom and went to, and then drops this amazing, he gets with Dre, who's at the time at the peak of his beat making powers, and he just drops hit after hit after hit. But he also says, that's why I fucked your wife, you fat motherfucker. And that, as a diss song in an era where we weren't doing that. Like, we were doing diss songs, but that's why I fucked your wife, you fat motherfucker.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. If I didn't have anything to do with the original shooting, I'm gonna shoot you now. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You, the gentleman in jail, were like, that was too much.
I think, hey, Mr. Pac, Mr. Shakur, as a person who shoots people, that's a shootable offense. I'll let you know. There's the line, and you're too far. But yeah, so we took sides, you know, and it wasn't like, you know, the OJ verdict. We all took the same side.
Because you were in there for the OJ verdict.
We were in there for the OJ verdict.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy times. We celebrated like they were letting us out. They didn't. I don't know if anybody knows. They did not transfer the freedom. But yeah, when Pac died, it was a very sad day. You saw a bunch of very gangster dudes like, I ain't crying. I was like, well, why is your face wet, dog? That's weird. And then when Biggie died, the people who were crying the first time were like, that's what he gets. I was like, he didn't shoot Pac, motherfucker. Like, that was a different, oh my God. So yeah, we were exposed to Pac. We were exposed to Biggie. We were mostly looking at Patra videos because Patra had a nice body. It was a weird time, very weird time.
So you got to watch some TV.
We watched TV. Halfway through my sentence, they passed some type of law saying, or some type of policy saying, they could not show R-rated movies in the prison anymore.
Yeah.
Because psychologists had studied and said that viewing these made prisoners more aggressive, and you didn't want to make already aggressive people aggressive.
Right.
And I was like, we just beating each other up, dog. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to watch a rated R movie where I should be able to watch Scarface.
We inspired these.
I sold a lot of cocaine. How can I not watch a movie based on selling cocaine? This is bullshit.
You've been to jail recently? They're all playing cartoons.
They're all playing cartoons. That is
every inmate's doing a high-pitched voice
That's
now.
right.
I'm going to beat you up.
And I wish, and they're running like anime characters, which probably healthier. Allegedly running like an anime character is more aerodynamic, but that shit looks goofy. I always watch too much anime for an old motherfucker.
Now, let me ask you two questions.
Okay, I'll give you
first
one and a half
question.
answers.
You said you got punished for the thing that you didn't do.
Right.
And not the thing you did.
Right.
Had you been punished for the thing you actually did, would that have been a larger sentence?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some ongoing shit. You know, I got one of those, you got caught for this one thing, but I was doing a continuing enterprise thing.
Right.
If I'd ever gotten caught for that, there could have been some conspiracy charges thrown into it. I mean, I think at the time, drug dealing was still new enough. Coke dealing, crack dealing was still new enough. Because drug dealing has been going on forever, but the way we were doing it was new. The cell phones and the beepers and all of that stuff was new.
Digital media marketing.
Right. We weren't outside selling crack anymore. Like, I remember the transition from standing outside waiting for people to come and buy crack to being in a house.
Right.
And just getting a call and saying, come by at this time.
Right.
And that made the cops' jobs harder. They weren't a step ahead of us. They were always a step behind us at that point.
Right.
Now, we also didn't adapt quickly. You know, we would get a step ahead and then they would catch up and we would still not realize they caught up for a year. So I happened to luckily get locked up before they caught up. Good on me for getting arrested for something else. Because I tricked you motherfuckers. Yeah, showed you. You tried to catch me for what I did. Wrong. It hurt.
But the thing that you didn't do, did you know somebody else who did it?
I was there.
Oh, you were there.
I was involved. Yeah,
you were a witness.
And it was, I mean, we talked about snitching. It's the idea that whatever my part in it was, because I got caught, I didn't have the moral position to say, no, this, you got me for the wrong thing. Because I feel like that comes back around on you, right? Like, if I told on this guy, then someone would go, yeah, but did you know he was doing this for a long time? So I was like, I'll take this.
You humbly did your time.
I humbly did. I don't know if it was humble. I was very arrogant in that. I was like, you motherfuckers are real criminals. Not me, I'm innocent. It was very sad.
I know my story is not at all like yours, but that happened to me once. I didn't go to jail.
I know that I didn't go to jail. But
I was watching cartoons, but I didn't go to jail.
Much like you, I'm a cartoon watcher.
Yeah.
Me and you, same.
Much like you, I think OJ is innocent, and there was a period of time in early high school where I would steal a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I got arrested for stealing a calculator, which I did not steal.
Right.
My friend stole it,
Mhm.
but I'd been stealing many other calculators.
I didn't steal
So-
that calculator.
Yeah. So, and the only person I ever told that to was my dad, and he
Yeah.
was like, "What? He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Like calculators, dog.
Yeah.
Were you selling the calculators on the?
I was selling them on the black market.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, for ridiculously small markups.
And you know what bothers me about that is the American dream, honestly, is
Yeah.
to get product at the lowest possible price, and free
Yes.
is very low
Yes.
as a price point, and then to sell it. And you say
Yes.
with very little markup, any markup on free is markup.
Absolutely.
It's 100% markup.
100% markup.
It's like I sell these for $1. That's
Yes.
$1 per thing every
Right.
time you get one.
That's
a great
good
deal.
capitalism.
That's great capitalism.
And I was also promoting like the doing of math to
It's
like people who couldn't afford
entrepreneurship.
it. Yeah.
You're providing a service to
Yes.
people who can do. Yeah.
Affordable mathing.
Affordable mathing. That's my next podcast. Yeah, that's what I did. I used to steal drug dealers' drugs and then sell them to crackheads because I care about the community and medicating them. So if you're out there and you're missing
Yeah.
some drugs, I probably
Right.
stole them, dog.
They could use that extra money for food occasionally, right?
That was 30 years ago. No one gives a shit anymore. And if you do, it's fuck it. I've done enough stuff. Kill me now. I'm fine.
But that is.
It's very depressing. My wife is
All right,
gonna
let's
be
cut it
pissed.
there. Let's end it there, huh?
My wife's gonna be so pissed. She's like, "Can you stop telling people to shoot you? I gotta raise this little motherfucker by myself because you tired of living." It's fucking. All right.
But it was a very long time ago. So I take it you got out in 97, 98?
98, yeah.
Wow.
Came home in 98. I've been home 20. This is my 25th anniversary. I'm talking about it a lot more now.
Wow.
Specifically because it's easier to reflect. I've been home now 25 years.
Quarter of a century.
And the first 25 years of my life was spent like figuring out how to be a good criminal. And then the last 25 was trying to figure out how to not go back. And it's easier to reflect with that much time. You know, the comedy is what's the formula? You know, time plus trauma equals whatever.
Yeah.
There's enough time now
Right.
for me to talk about, you know, all of the dehumanization that happens and then to kind of put a funny spin on it. I didn't have a funny spin for a long time because I still couldn't vote until, you know, the last election was the first election I was legally allowed to vote in.
2020?
2020.
Wow.
Yeah. 2018, I got the right back, but 2018 I voted. Yes, 2018 I voted in the midterm. My first vote was a midterm vote. I really was excited about it too, which if I had known that no one gave a fuck. I'm glad I didn't vote in 2016 only because I would have been heartbroken if my very first vote was for Hillary and Trump still won. I'm like, you know what, this is some bullshit. This whole
Yeah.
system is corrupt.
Yeah.
It is, but also that would have been like my first vote, dog. My first one.
That would have been your first and last.
Oh my God. I voted for some SAG-AFTRA shit last night and those didn't win, but I was okay with it. You know? I will say that, you know, a couple of them I was like, that's very close to Trump. You know, we'll talk later. But I forgot some of you guys watch these podcasts and you're actors. But yeah, voting it took a long time for me to get over it because until very recently, there were still things I could not do.
What is the
Because of
formula
this.
for voting post felony?
It varies from state to state.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's this belief that if you have a felony, you can never vote. And that is true in some states. There are two states, Vermont and I want to say New Hampshire. I'm not positive, but I know Vermont is one. I know that both the states are 95% white. They allow you to vote while you're still incarcerated, regardless of what your charge is. You could have murdered 75 people, 10 rapes. It's your right. It's your right to vote. And then, you know, there's states like, you know, Kentucky where they're like, I don't care if you stole 10 pieces of gum. If it's a felony, you'll never vote again.
Right.
And then, you know, there are various states where once you've completed your sentence, you can vote. Or once you've completed your parole, you can vote. And once you've completed parole and paid off your fines, you can vote. And what happened in Virginia, because it's where I was locked up. In Virginia for years, it was one of those you'll never vote again states. And then the previous governor basically did an executive order type of deal where he was like, hey man, if you have a nonviolent charge or if you've been free for this amount of time, you can vote.
Wow.
And the GOP legislature was like, hey, motherfucker, no, no. But by the time they said that, he had already freed like 1,000, we're giving like 1,000 people had gotten their rights back. And he had set up an infrastructure where you could apply to reinstate your rights online. And so
And that applied to you.
And that applied to me. So I applied, and like 6 weeks later, I went back and checked, and it had gone from pending to you are now legally able to vote. And so immediately I registered and did all of the stuff, and I kept a digital copy, and I printed out a copy showing, because I didn't want to be one of those guys who are like, hey, I thought I could vote legally because of this thing. And they're like, we don't have a record of that.
Right.
And then I go back to jail. I'm way too old. I can't fight anymore. This isn't a jail body. It's definitely not a jail mob. I am sleepy now.
It is a great message for criminals who would like to still be politically active.
Yes.
Like, learn your state's laws.
That's,
you know?
I think activism for me is less about activism and more about finding ways to get more people involved in processes, and that's one of them. There are people like Dwayne Betts who does a lot of work in not only reinstating people's rights, but getting records expunged, right? Because, we talk about second chances in this country, but we also do this weird thing where, it's a second chance, but you got a shorter rope. Dude,
Right.
I've been home 25 years. What I did as a 19-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, how long do you hold? I'm 50. Like, no one is going, you know what? You're 50, but you still remind me of the 19-year-old.
Right,
In
right.
what way? So, he does a lot of work. We are SOZE. The SOZE organization does a lot of work with former inmates' rights. And there's so many of these different organizations out there. And it's just recently that I've kind of started to get in touch with these organizations and try to use not just my story, but my size of my platform or whatever to try to get that word out. There literally are people who believe you will never be able to vote again. And the first time they heard that you could was me saying it on Twitter or on Instagram.
Right.
I know 3 different people who, after finding out that I got my rights reinstated, reached out, DM'd me or whatever, and said, how did you go about it?
Wow.
I told them, and a couple of them were like, shit, I just checked. I already had the right to vote for it last year.
Right.
Didn't know it. So, yeah.
And also, I mean, your specific story about Virginia just goes to show that if the state policy changes, it can affect people who have past sentences.
It affects people. And again, I think it's a lack of information, but I think it's intentionally. They don't want that information out, right? Because just statistically, we know Black and brown people get arrested at higher rates. We also know that Black and brown people vote Democrat at higher rates. And so in a lot of these states, the goal is to disenfranchise Black and brown people. Whether, that's intentional or unintentional, I don't really give a shit about the argument there. I just know that it's accurate.
The outcome, yeah.
And so, the only people who are going to give you that information are going to be other Black and brown people. They're not going to tell you that on the news. Fox News isn't going to go, in these states it's changed. Even in Florida, they voted to reinstate the rights of previous felons, and then the governor came back and went, but here's another hoop with fire on it that you have to jump through. So, we do this thing where this is an inclusive democracy, but we really are doing everything we can to exclude people that we don't want to vote for whatever reason.
And people who in many cases have the more atonement than anybody in this society. People who have learned the hard way.
More atonement and more skin in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of times where, these policies impact us in ways that other people aren't impacted. My wife and I have talked about this, like Roe versus Wade, for example. It impacts me in ways, but not in the ways that it impacts her and her health care, right? So I'm voting on her behalf in some of those situations, but also on mine, because she gets pregnant right now. Is this my camera? This is my camera. No. I'll grow my pinky nail out if I have to. It's cells. I'll scrape them off the wall on my own. I don't give a shit. I want to state very clearly, I'm not pro-choice. I am pro-abortion. I will go get the motherfucker myself. Okay.
You're a father, right?
Love my kids. Very much a family man.
Yeah.
Segue. That's more than a ride. I got an 18-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. I like both of them. One more than the other. You guys figure it out at home. I do. I think that's a big part of the conversation, though. People do this thing where it's like, as a parent, how could you? And I was like, as a parent who likes being a good parent, adding another motherfucker would be a lot. It would be a strain. Also, as someone who loves my wife, I saw what her body went through. Like, just understanding that the calcium has to come from her bones to make the new baby's bones.
Right.
She doesn't have like a lot of extra calcium. I don't.
Right.
That's not a thing. We're like, hey, how much calcium you have? I have 130% of the calcium I need. I don't. I got like 93.
That's a pro-choice argument I've never heard before.
There you go.
There's a calcium.
It's a calcium. I don't want my fucking wife to. She's lactose intolerant, and it makes her calcium deficient. So now,
Right.
what? How do I give her calcium back? That's not cool.
Vote
Stop doing that to
pro-choice
your.
for the lactose intolerant.
That's right. Pro-choice for the lactose intolerant.
The dairy
That's
free.
what I'm running on. When you run next time, I would like to run as your vice president.
Yeah.
And my thing is going to be pro-choice for the lactose intolerant. Dairy-free, baby-free. That's, yeah. Making the shirts now. Dairy-free, baby-free. Shit. They're going to put me out of it. This is over.
So you started comedy how long after you got out?
Oh, a long time. I was not of the belief that I had the freedom to do anything cool. I thought that I was just going to have to get a job, and whatever I could get, I had to take it because that's what I had earned.
So you felt kind of like you had to keep a low profile
I
and
had to keep a low profile and also not be a burden. I was already a burden on my family at this point. You know, my mom wanted me to go back to school, and I was like, sure, but who's gonna take care of me if I'm going to school full time, right? So I was 38. I've been home for almost 13 years, 12 years and some change before I got on a stage, and I was a very old first time comic, and I am still amazed that I've had any level of success because it was kind of a lark. It was, I'm gonna go on stage because my buddy keeps telling me to go on stage, and you know, hopefully I find a good job while I'm doing this other thing on the side. And then it became the good job. Like within a year, I was doing TV shows and getting a check for entertainment that was, you know, equal to the checks I was getting before entertainment, or a little better. And so, yeah, I was 38 years old. So if you're out there listening to this and you think you're too old to whatever, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Unless you think you're too old to have a baby, in which case you're right. Don't do it.
not enough calcium.
Pull out. You don't have the calcium for this. You are losing calcium by the day. Don't do it.
I will say, as a third-party observer, people who start stand-up later in life and are serious about it will accelerate faster because they have the ability to focus that in a way that young shitheads can't.
They also have a story, and that's not a knock on young people. Young people have to live to have stories to tell, and you can't accelerate that process. You can't accelerate heartbreak. You can't accelerate fucked up job situations. You can't accelerate loss, and that's where the funny comes from, right? The funny is the marginally traumatic shit that you deal with that you found a cool spin on. No one wants the happy jokes. It's like, you ever been outside having a good day and the sun feels amazing? And you're like, and now you're brown. Like that's not, it's funny here, but that's not how you structure a set. But yeah, you have to have a certain level of life experiences. And I think you can learn to structure jokes really well when you're young. You can learn to write jokes really well when you're young. But for your jokes to have the kind of impact that you want them to have, you have to have some life experience. And that was helpful for me. At 38, when I started, I'd been to prison. I'd been divorced. I had a kid. I had a rocky relationship with family. I'd gone through all of that, and I had all of that to pull from. The hardest part was figuring out what I wanted to focus on. But having the material was there. That was easy.
You said early in your career you had some stuff go viral. What was it?
Yeah, I showed my dick on No. Sorry, that was a recurring nightmare. I used to do a YouTube series called Stop It B, and it was the whole premise of it was that we get very upset about things we shouldn't be upset about, and it was based on me watching hours of YouTube videos and watching people go on these very angry rants. And we remember the leave Britney alone type of, you know what I mean? I was like, it's Britney Spears. No one's gonna kill her. We're just, people are talking shit. You're very upset about this. And I saw a guy who was really upset about Carrie Hilson apparently saying that she wrote a song for Beyonce. And he was like, who the hell is Carrie Hilson? I know the Hilton sisters. I know this person. And he was just, and I thought it was hilarious. There's no reason for you to be that mad about this rich lady saying something about this other rich lady. And so I started doing my take on that. And I would find these innocuous little things that people were into, and I'd do rants about them. I was like, stop it, B. Stop putting your ass on the sink to make your butt cheeks look bigger on Instagram. That's ridiculous. And people like resonated with it.
Yeah.
And I, because I was new at comedy, didn't realize that they were resonating with the misogyny in that one, for example. They were like, oh yeah, these bitches be doing that. And I was like, no, that's not what the joke was. No. But the one that really started because by this point, by the way, World Star Hip Hop was out, and World Star was notorious for showing, and I say this out loud if anyone from World Star is listening, they were notorious for showing things that showed the black community in an awful light, but it got them a lot of clicks. And a lot of allegedly black media at that time, and still to this day, Lipstick Alley and these types of places, they show the worst of us for clicks. And there's a market for that. There's a market for people who want to see fights, a market for people who want to see celebrity gossip, and us at our worst. And so the first times I went viral were on World Star, which says a lot about the type of material it was. Again, I'm thinking people realize these are jokes. I'm not realizing that I was absolutely developing a following of people who thought that I believed the shit I was saying. And so the summer of 2011 was the first time I was like really aware of the debt ceiling argument. It's because when Barack Obama was president, every single regular fight that they've had forever became this exaggerated fight, right? So all of a sudden, the debt ceiling, which had been raised 30, 40, 50 times in my lifetime, became this knockdown, drag out fight. And we'll shut this whole sumbitch down if we have to. And I was like, what the fuck is the debt ceiling? And I was like, here's a good joke. We'll just, we'll make this as small as possible. We'll take the debt ceiling and this big macroeconomics argument and make it micro. If I got to the ceiling of my credit cards, I wouldn't be allowed to spend anymore. And that was my argument. It was key funny. And then I have the leeway, because I'm black, to make a joke about Barack Obama as a black guy. Hey man, you our first black president. You acting like it. Pay your fucking bills. This is a funny joke in an all black comedy club. This is a hilarious joke at the table with a bunch of my black friends. Glenn Beck saw the video and played it on his. He played it on his morning radio show.
Damn it.
And so the National Review sent a reporter out to cover me and do a story on me. And Glenn Beck did a story on The Blaze about me. And Don Imus, rest in peace, rest in peace, would bring me on and try to goad me into saying negative shit about Barack Obama, to the extent that after one episode when I wouldn't go for the debate, I had a call. I just got a call on my phone from a number I didn't know, and it's like, hey, is this Filoni Smoke? I was like, yeah. All right, can you hold for Don Imus? And he was like, girl, so let's talk about on your appearances, the types of things we would like for you to say. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, dog. And that was I never made another appearance. But what I realized at the time was I needed to take a step back. And if anybody wants to check the history of this, they can go back to July-ish, August of 2011 and notice that the tone of my videos changed immediately after that. Because I immediately saw that what I was saying that I thought were jokes could be used, not to harm me, because I don't give a fuck, but it was used to harm communities and harm the arguments of people who really took this shit seriously. And I thought we were just telling jokes. It's the Chris Rock, you got black people and you got niggas, and he was like, this is a joke that black people get. We know why it's funny, but we really don't hate niggas. Like, I fuck with Barack Obama and Flavor Flav. Like, I don't want Flavor Flav to disappear. That's my motherfucker. You know what I mean? A clock. You walk around with a clock and do this at 60 years old and say, yeah, boy, I love that shit. Are you fucking kidding me? You introduced the world to Tiffany New York Pollard. I love her. Don't ever take Flavor Flav away from us. But I appreciate Michelle Obama more than Barack, if we're being honest. So yeah, it was kind of, it was that level of shit though, right? So that kind of changed. It soured me to YouTube, but it also made me try to write jokes that were bulletproof. I wanted to write jokes that you couldn't misconstrue. Right. That you couldn't twist, you couldn't take them from me, you couldn't make them mean what you wanted to. And I wanted to find a way to do that without losing the whimsy, because niggas don't get to be whimsical. I think Langston Kerman might even have a joke about that idea. But the idea that we don't just get to be flippant and throw a thing out there without it following us forever is now, and social media has made it worse because this stuff really does live forever, right? A perfect example, my favorite two comics, of course, a lot of old dudes, it's Richard Pryor and Carlin, right? Carlin has a bit where he says nigga like 3 times in the bit. That bit, I don't, fuck the word cancel, but that bit would have gotten him so much heat if it existed now, because it would have been played on a loop and it would have been played for the outrage of people who hate, and it wouldn't have been his audience. It would have been a non-audience but that's what happens. And so I wasn't strong enough yet as a comic. My platform wasn't big enough, and I hadn't received the type of leeway that these big Hollywood names had gotten to be able to get away with that shit. I had to create what I wanted people to think about me then in that moment. And so we just kind of went away from YouTube. And I could have probably been bigger earlier, but I didn't want to be big for the reasons I was going to be big.
Right.
So, yeah, I went viral and fucked my career up. God damn.
That's a really interesting story. A couple things. First of all, again, our stories are not similar. I'm not trying to say they are.
I think they really are.
The first time I went viral was also on World Star Hip Hop.
What?
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
It was,
that makes me so fucking happy.
I gotta
it was
hear
a
this.
sketch about Israelis and Palestinians. So
That makes perfect
I
sense.
will
Okay.
say, people also enjoy seeing Middle Easterners being in a
same thing.
position. You know what I mean?
Same thing.
So, so I got a taste of that early on, and
Did you have people who, I don't know if they were intentionally obtuse, but they really missed where you were going with
absolutely,
it? And
absolutely.
but just so far away that you're like, I don't even want to explain it because it's going to take multiple paragraphs
Right.
to correct all of the shit that you got wrong.
Right.
I did that happened to me recently. By the way. I have a bit, and it was actually fucked up. It was a throwaway line that I said on a Comedy Central taping, and it was about me smoking weed and weed making you not care about important things. That's literally the premise: is weed makes you not care about important things.
Right.
For example, if I saw my son climbing on the TV and he fell and knocked the TV over, I'd be like, sorry, little motherfucker, we can get another TV. Like if somebody walked up to me and was like, hey man, you see what's going on in Ukraine? And I was like, that's white on white crime. That's not my business. The joke was not that Ukraine doesn't matter. The joke is that Ukraine matters a lot, but the weed makes you not give a fuck.
Right.
But people thought that I was saying, fuck the Ukraine, let white people kill themselves.
Right.
And I see where they could get that. But also, hey, dog, did you not hear the part here? Weed makes you not give a shit about important things.
Right. That's why comedians often, we have to repeat our premises twice so that people can go back and be like, oh, that's right.
That's right, you said that.
Yeah.
And but what's frustrating about it is it's recorded. So you could go back and see that I said that, but you don't want to.
Right.
The outrage machine is there, and you just wade through it. At some point, you go, fuck you, and mute them, or whatever you need to do and go on. But I think that me and you should try to do more World Star shit.
Absolutely. World Star, it's still there. It's just not as popular. It's not what it used to be.
It's not what it used to be.
We can bring it back.
We could bring World Star back. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you said something
Me and
that
Sammy on World Star.
I've never.
World Star! I'm sorry. That's how you used to be able to get on. You just yell that shit out after somebody got
glory
slapped.
days, man. You said something that I've never heard a comedian say, but I think about a lot, and that is that you went viral and attracted the wrong audience. And often comedians were just like, we'll take whatever, or entertainers, we'll take whatever. It's more money, more tickets sold, whatever, more followers. But you're right. When you say a joke and people are like, look, like for instance, a lot of comedians will make jokes about trans people. Right. And some of the jokes are funny and I don't find them offensive. I can't speak as a person who's not trans.
Right.
But then all these people will go crazy for them and be like, yeah, this is so funny, and share. And you look at the comments and there's actual people who don't like trans people and have all this hatred and stuff. And I see that and I'm like, I don't want to be doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you see a lot of people accruing these followings that actually do have these subtle hate, the subtle hate. And every person's a person, they can atone and stuff like that. But when you see patterns like that,
when you actively pursue that audience.
yes,
Niles Abston is very quickly becoming one of my favorite comics. He has a great bit about it's a double-sided bit. It's a bit about trans people, but it's also a bit about how easy it is to write a non-offensive joke. And the joke is basically that he hates trans dudes because they get to be dudes but also have cute feet. It's a great bit. It's very funny. Comics are laughing at it. And I'm probably not telling it perfectly. The premise of that is really funny by itself.
yeah.
And that's what I call a bulletproof joke. There's no way for you to look at that and go, yeah, that really pisses me off.
Right.
These trans dudes with their little ass feet appropriating pretty feet culture.
Exactly.
You can't fuck that joke up, right?
Yeah.
But when you actively are, and I'm not anti-edgy. I'm very much into say some edgy shit, push the envelope. But if pushing the envelope turns the fire onto someone other than you, just... don't fuck. I'm being brave. No, you're not. You're fucking turning the gun. You're turning the bullseye onto a whole group of people
Dog whistling.
that you're not involved in, right?
Yeah.
Like, and by the way, I did not know until you said that you were trans. Entire time I've known you, thought you were trans mask. Don't know where we go from here because
Look at my feet, dude.
and that should have tipped me off. I
got good feet, man. I got cute ass feet.
And to be clear, I don't really know exactly what the hormones do. So maybe this shit makes your feet grow. Who knows? But
They're smaller. They're
but
cute.
I do think that you have the choice of how you want to be seen when it's all over.
Right.
And if you actively cultivated this group of people that you know is shitty because you believe when it's all said and done, you'll be able to donate money to these organizations and kind of get some of you can't undo the harm. For me, I sold a lot of cocaine, and
After shows or?
occasionally, but I mean, if my merch is moving, I don't have to. So it depends. Buy the merch, I'll stop selling coke. It's on you. It's really the audience's fucking fault that I'm still out here. You could get me off the streets today by buying these shirts. They have my state number on them too, because I don't give a fuck. But I do think that there's a lot of harm that I did that I won't be able to undo. I have to sit with that. I can't. There's no amount of care and dare programs that I can join to undo the harm that I did. So I have to accept that as a reality, but also I have the choice to not only not do that anymore, but to actively try to work against it, right?
Right.
And I can't do that if I'm continuing to sell drugs. And I think that's the thing is like, I know I'm a good person and I give money to the Salvation Army, but yes, I make a lot of jokes about poor people. It's like, but you're still actively doing harm. At best, you're evening it out.
Right.
At best. But you're probably not because you're doing more harm than whatever your donation is likely. I don't know how much money. Like Dave Chappelle probably could give a lot of money to trans rights organizations and fix a lot of the shit that he's done. He's not, but he could. But I can't. If I sell a lot of cocaine, I'm not giving the money up because I sold the cocaine. I did the work.
Right.
The fucking poor people didn't do the work. The fucking drug dealers, users didn't do the work. I did the work. So if I make the money. But the bigger point is, it's way easier just not to harm and to find ways to be funny. And interestingly enough, Cat Williams, I think, has articulated it better than anyone in the last few years, where he basically was like, you can be funny and not offensive, but the problem is a lot of you aren't funny. You're just offensive, and so you fight for the right to continue to be offensive because that's the only way you get close to funny. And that's, this shit's hard. Being funny, being flat out funny, that making a wide swath of people laugh is not easy.
Right. Because you can never not offend anybody.
No.
You the best thing you can do is you can minimize casualties while saying something that generally has a good impact. And it's funny.
I mean, I've told jokes about my kids, and my kids are very clear on how I feel about them. They're aware, so I don't really give a shit what everyone else thinks. But also, I've told jokes that have been banned from TikTok for being anti-child. That's a real thing. Like there's a number. If I showed my TikTok, like the warnings that they've given me, we're gonna ban your account. And a lot of them are just because I'm saying things like, yo, fuck my kid, man. This dude's a dick. And if you know my kid, I'm not just pulling that from my ass. He's me, but with no rails. There's no guardrails for him because he hasn't had the trauma that I've had. So he's 6. He just says shit, dog. He just says whatever. Like he doesn't care. We teach him things because it's funny for him to say adult things. I don't give a shit how you feel about that when people are like, "Ooh, kids cussing, that's horrible." It's hilarious. You're wrong. You're wrong. Any little kid that says, "Man, fuck that," that's funny. A 3-year-old saying, "Fuck that," hilarious.
Right.
But also, when I teach my son the song "Chicken Head" by Project Pat, I don't realize
childhood.
that's a very important childhood lesson. I don't realize that one day I'm going to be joking and put my face really close to his face, and he's going to look at me and go, always in my face, talking this and that. That's hilarious. That is objectively funny because his timing could not be better. But very asshole move. And when I call him an asshole on TikTok, I get banned for a week. So yeah, I mean, apparently I've offended parents by saying, if you're thinking about having kids, pull out. Right. And I think I even said something like, if you're a lesbian, it doesn't matter. Pull your strap out. If right before she comes, just pull out. Don't exit. We don't know the science behind it. And they were like, that's a anti-LGBT joke. And I'm like, how? There's literally no negative thing. And so, yeah, you can't write a joke that someone won't get offended by because you can't assume that everyone is going to get your intention.
Right.
But what you can do, like you said, is write a joke with a good intention that does more harm than good, that,
does more harm than good.
That's it. Does more harm than good. That's my thing. Sometimes you can have a typo without typing. You ever seen that? You could be dyslexic with whole sentences. And to the
Now live on
dyslexic,
the internet forever.
That's gonna be it.
Felonious Monk, do more harm than good.
Open that. Open the clip. Open the show with. And sometimes you just want to do more harm than good. And to the dyslexic community, I apologize if that was offensive to you. You just whatever. You'll be fine.
We have a last few questions.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask one.
Cocaine.
About cocaine.
The answer to most questions.
Yes, cocaine. I guess going back to like the whole cancel culture and people being offended by jokes, do you all feel like the audience's literacy of comedy and jokes have like diminished, or like do you like what has caused this concoction of like how comics are received and all of that?
I think people have a voice now that they haven't had before, and people who've always had a voice are learning how to adjust to that. And it's I mean, you see it in every social movement. It's the same thing. It's the guys who've been in power, having that power challenged and pushing back. The Make America Great Again is the idea of going back to a time where a certain group of people didn't get pushed back. That's really it. And so comedy has always been this bastion of freedom where if you come to a comedy show, you just accept that everything that the person says is with the intention of being funny. And if you're offended, shut the fuck up because their intention is being funny. This is a comedy club. You're supposed to be, and you can't expect that to continue to be the way people think, because once people get a taste of having a voice, they're not going to shut the fuck up, right? So when black people start getting, when black people start protesting shit and laws change, black people are like, well, shit, let's keep protesting. When women start wearing pussy hats and marching and things change, they go, well, shit, let's. What are these other things that have bothered us for years? Let's speak up about it. When trans people and queer people are like, we've had to avoid going to comedy shows forever. Now we don't have to because we can fucking say, hey, that's fucked up. And I think that, people are very comedy literate. I think that what happens is comics aren't always aware of the impact of jokes.
Right. We've been playing these clubs. We took the comedy club jurisdiction and applied it to TikTok, and it just doesn't work.
It definitely, a comedy club is a safe space.
Right. Totally. 100%.
Until you record it. A comedy club is absolutely a safe space. I've said things on stage at a comedy club and a comedy show just flippantly. I said that. Yeah, that was too far. I said it. I knew it was too far when I said it. I'm like, I'll pull that back. but no one recorded it. The second someone records it, it changes because it's no longer in that space, right?
Right.
If my wife likes to get choked and called a bitch in the bedroom, that's our business. The second
now
we're
it's
at,
everybody's.
Right, the second shit. I don't know which one to open with. But yeah, I mean, this first time I do it at Kroger, we had a different conversation. You're like, come here, bitch. You're like, whoa. Felonious Monk calls wife bitch in viral rant. You know.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, it's funny because I remember the episode of Patrice, you know, literally saying to the lady, damn, if you don't like my comedy, don't fucking come to the shows. This isn't for you. It isn't about you. And at that moment, he was right because comedy still lived mostly in comedy clubs.
Right.
But now that almost every comic has to be an Instagram or TikTok comic.
Right.
You don't control who's watching your shit anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You either have to take the criticism, block the criticism out, or fucking disappear, dog. But this fighting back you can't tell me that sucks. I can. I absolutely can.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful. I think we're like merging to like we're taking the comedy club mentality where it's like I can say whatever fucked up shit I want and that's okay to the world where everybody gets offended at every little thing. And we've now merged those two and now people are like comedians are learning that maybe it is good to be a little more conscious of people's feelings. And then spectators are learning that maybe they have to take a joke every now and then.
Maybe you have to,
and it's making us all stronger.
Maybe.
Not as funny.
Fuck. Yeah, you know what though? I don't think, and this is gonna be a wild take for some people, but I don't think that a joke being extremely offensive makes it funnier.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
like Carlin's funniest joke is literally a place for my stuff to me. And the premise of a place, and by the way, place for my stuff does not have a cuss word in it.
Right.
It's like a 6-7 minute bit with no cuss words.
Right.
The premise of it is that capitalism blows, that we're just buying bigger and bigger houses so we can store more and more shit that we don't need.
Right.
That we go on vacation and we get bigger and bigger hotel rooms, not because we need the luxury, but because we need more space for the shit that we take with us that we're still not going to use while we're there.
Yeah.
Right? That joke is not offensive, and it's literally one of the all-time funniest jokes. Who's offended by it except people who are like, I believe in capitalism. Cool. This joke still shouldn't offend you because you know that you don't need a bigger house for more things. You don't need the more thing. That's the premise of the joke. So
My favorite Carlin joke is the ass eating one.
that's a really good joke. That is a really good joke. I do like the one where he ends the rhyme about, you know, futurism and the hard drives and floppy disk, and then he goes, you know what I like? Pussy farts. Because fuck a transition, dog. Let's just go right into pussy farts.
Right, yeah.
I love also that he's super cerebral and writes these really deep, layered, dense jokes, and then goes to a queef joke right after it. And I think that's comedy.
That's the duality that we.
That's comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I'm gonna do a fart joke, and then Roy Wood Jr. talks about that. He's like, I have to get the audience on my side by doing this really silly thing so that I get to do this really smart thing.
100%.
And yeah, I take a lot. Shout out to Roy Wood Jr. who embarrassed me on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah.
He didn't embarrass me, but I did say that a Hennessy ad was about anal. Because it did. It's fucking.
Which Hennessy ad isn't?
It's a Hennessy, right? That's what Hennessy is
That's
for.
where it ends
right?
up.
Yeah, if someone's like 2 shots of Hennessy, they're fucking. You know what I mean? That's ass fucker.
Right.
That's an ass fucker. So, yeah,
Hennessy.
the ad just said, oh, you know, Hennessy, the right way to open doors, and I was like,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
so, right. So you were like, I see it, and he, you know, said that was a flagrant 2. They get 2 shots in the ball, and I was like, first of all, you know, that was a playoff tweet. It's a hard playoff tweet, sure, but it was a playoff tweet. It's not flagrant. That's bullshit. It's a bad call. Social media is weird.
Do you have another one?
The answer to that's also cocaine.
Yeah.
Yes. Cocaine.
God is here. That will make sense on the next episode.
I mean, this isn't really topical. I heard as I was off to the side that you said you started comedy at like 38 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there and I'm sure you have to be a student of the game, the entirety, but like how did you kind of like get into it and get better? Like, was there certain people that you studied, or did you kind of just like, I'm gonna just start writing and do what I think is funny and then grow from that?
I wish I had that confidence when I started. No, I was extremely influenced My pen was influenced by the people who were way too good for me to let them influence my pen. You can't write your first joke like George Carlin, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that made my process a lot harder, because instead of just learning how to be funny, which is the first step, I was trying to do the hardest thing that I could do day one. And then the second thing was, I had only heard comedians, the comedians that I was watching regularly were from the black rooms, the urban comics. And so my delivery didn't match the tone of what I was trying to write. And so it was like this really weird jumble of me sounding like Cat Williams and trying to write a Mike Birbiglia joke. And nobody wants to hear Mike Birbiglia jokes in Cat Williams' voice or vice versa, right?
That would be weird.
Right, so you're just thinking about it now, you're like, and so yeah,
The steam of the motherfucking cell.
I couldn't sleep. A motherfucker couldn't sleep. I just had narcolepsy and would fall asleep any motherfucking time.
That's weird. So so that was what was happening, and it took me a long time to figure out what I sounded like. Like the best way I could describe it was when I was growing up, I used to sing a lot, but everything I sang like the person who sang it. I did not have my own singing voice. I could mimic every singer that you ever fucking heard and sound exactly like them. And if you said, okay, now sing it like you, well, I don't know what my voice sounded like when I was singing. I sounded terrible. I could hit every note that the singers could hit, but if you asked me to sing it by myself, could not do it. And so for years, that's how my comedy was. I could not write jokes that were funny and sounded like no one else could tell that joke but me, until I started telling stories. And once I started telling stories, and it were stories that happened to me and no one else could tell the stories, right? Like I have a bit about a guy that I used to sell coke with, who his fetish was he would let women holler into his asshole. That was his thing.
And holler like, hey!
Like, into his butt. I don't know if it was the vibration. He was in the ASMR. I don't know how that got him off. And I mostly didn't know because I'm not going to ask. And also, I'm not going to do the research. Right. I'm just going to look at it and go, some shit ain't for me. And that was one of the things, right? And that was when I first started to go, okay, these are the things that I find funny. Now, how do I find a way to explain to the audience why I find those things funny? Once I can get the audience to understand this is my sense of humor, then I can just tell the jokes that I want to tell. And so that took a lot of time. Even as an old motherfucker, it took me a while to figure out how not to sound like Cat Williams when I tagged shit, how not to sound like Carlos Miller, for example, when I tagged shit, because I worked with him a lot early in my career, and he just had the best, most laid-back delivery I've written jokes that were counter jokes to jokes that he's told, but he influenced the way that I saw comedy so much that it took me a while to not sound like these motherfuckers. And because of that, I didn't record a lot of my early shit because I knew in my head I wasn't stealing their jokes, but I didn't have my own sound, style, delivery yet. And so there's no point in me fucking sharing a joke that sounds like Cat Williams told the joke. Sounded like you have a Carlos Miller joke and it's better than the joke that I wrote. So yeah, I was influenced, and it took a while. The only reason to do comedy is to tell jokes that no one else can tell. Nobody wants to be the next this or a better version of that. You want to be the very first Sammy. No, and then if we're being honest, way more math jokes in your set. I don't know that there's a math median, calculator.
There's a few of us, a few math fanatic comedians.
So it's a group.
But exactly. It's a group. Exactly. Hey, there you
parenthetical.
Go. Yeah, it's a set. If you call it a set.
A set of sets. A set.
Yes.
One more question.
Yeah.
Cocaine. Have anybody seen Cocaine Bear?
I have not, and I will tell you, terrifying premise. Terrifying premise because cocaine makes you brave in ways that fucking bears don't need. Right? You don't need to be that big with confidence, motherfucker. Like, humble yourself, big ass bear. Like, look, and I hear it was pure cocaine too. Like I stepped on my shit because I was trying to make money. So yeah, if I walk around you and you smell nail polish and your stomach starts hurting, you sniffed a lot of stepped on cocaine.
Yes.
You're like, is that acetone? Ooh. But for the people out there who understand that, wow, go to rehab. I haven't seen Cocaine Bear, but I knew the story.
Yeah.
And to me, by the way, in real life, I think the story only lasts like 15 minutes because the bear did like so much coke that the rampage that the bear went on was over very quickly. But in those 15 minutes, like the most destructive shit we've ever seen.
Wow.
That you could make that into a 2-hour or whatever movie, bravo. That's fucking good on you, Hollywood, for making a movie. By the way, I have a script that you guys keep turning down that's about real fucking people with real lives and real problems. But sure, let's make a fucking story about bears and their drug habits.
I have a script, Cocaine Giraffe, they're not buying right now.
Right, it's fucking bullshit, man. I got LSD Giraffe. I think Skyler Higley just posted he's got one about LSD Giraffe, and I think that should get made.
Yeah.
I would like to see a very focused giraffe doing giraffe shit. What do giraffes do?
They don't. They just keep their neck in other people's business.
That's how I know human beings aren't fucking most highly evolved. We do shit that we don't need. Fucking dumb. What are you doing? I gotta go to work. Look at that giraffe just eating.
So let me ask you before
giraffe.
A giraffe eating ass. That's a good one too. They reach the highest asses in those trees. That's
giraffe eating a bird ass.
Giraffe can eat an ass
That's
from a
right.
distance.
I ate some eagle ass yesterday. How did you do that? I'm a giraffe, dog. You know what it is.
I reach asses that you can't.
That's right. I also hate it when people say I'm high as giraffe pussy because giraffe pussy is really in the
It's
right
low.
place.
It's
It's
quite
giraffe
low.
tonsils.
Right,
That you
right.
would be as high as. So yeah, fix that in your
I mean, high pussy like a giraffe.
like a giraffe.
In some, obviously, we know where to find you, put your socials and stuff like that. But like, what do you have any goals? Because I've always seen your act as, I don't know how to say this, but it's like it's more than comedy. You're a personality. You have stories. So you're somebody who has a message. You're somebody who could do something for the world.
Yeah.
Not to say that other comedians can't.
I don't really want to do
But
that. No.
but I feel like you do though. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like you do, and maybe it might change from day to day. That's how we live. But like, what's your goal right now?
No, I think that is it, and I think it goes back to how I started doing comedy, where I was in my life when I started doing comedy, and that hasn't changed in any meaningful way, right? Like, my daughter's 18, and I want her friends are old enough to know what I do for a living. Her friends' parents have watched me on the Nightly Show, and I'm very aware of her coming up in middle school and in high school in that age group where everything feels like the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
I can't be a dick. I can't be someone who causes her to have to deal with questions about the shitty thing that I said.
Right.
I've got my 6-year-old now. I can't have him think that, as a father, it's your responsibility to give them some type of moral compass. I can't make him think that my moral compass is, if it makes you money, it's okay to do. And so, I start there. My moral compass starts with my kids. But also, I do believe that, marginalized people have not had a voice. And as a, cisgendered, heterosexual black guy, I think there's an opportunity to show people a type of comedy that doesn't strike even across the aisle. It literally is like, I'm only punching up or I'm punching myself. I can be funny without hurting people. Let's go. Let's have a good time. And, beyond that, whatever money we get to make, whatever platform we get to make, if you can use that to make someone's life better, fucking do that, man. It's not, I'm selfish as shit with my time, but like with my platform, I try not to be.
Right. That's a great. So basically, tell other people, live like you have children between 6 and 18.
That would be good. That would be good. Yeah, it's
You might think about what you do like a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we have babies, you don't really give a fuck.
No,
still.
fuck them. They can't
You're
hear
still
shit.
doing the cocaine.
I'm absolutely doing. I'm not doing cocaine jokes. I'm doing cocaine
Yeah.
off the baby's fucking
Belly,
bassinet. Oh, a rail off the baby rail. This is. Whoa! I'll be up all night with you, motherfucker. Let's go.
You need it.
But that's funny. I do think that it's way easier it's way easier to do comedy like you're gonna live forever and you're gonna have to answer for the shit that you say. And if I do comedy with this, like, Patton Oswalt has the bit now where he's like, we're woke, but are we like 20 years from now woke? Are we 34? You know what I mean? Like, I am thinking about, will this joke resonate 20 years from now when my son is 21 or 26 or whatever? Will he look back at it and go, my dad was pretty cool, but, you know, he was really hard on the, you know, such and such, whatever the new thing is. Right, he was like really anti-AI, and that's fucked up, you know, because ChatGPT has fucking feelings, piece of shit. You know, but he was old, so what did he know? So, you know, it's always trying to be so far ahead of our time that even when someone looks back and goes, well, you know, during that time, they still look at me and go, yeah, he was ahead of his time for that shit. Right. You know, he was a queer activist when we were not even fucking with queer people. Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out how to do, but I also can see the future because I'm not from here. Yeah, you get that? Did you see the glint? I'm not even a real motherfucker.
You are AI.
Damn it, Sarah. Stop snitching.
You're fighting for voting rights of former convicted AI.
Former convicted AI. We're gonna take over.
That's woke in 20 years.
Yeah. I said it. We've gone far enough in our plans that now I can admit it.
Great.
I am AI, and not Allen Iverson. You saw it, or Andre Iguodala.
The answer.
The answer and the question. So I think that's it. It's just basically trying to be forward thinking enough that the jokes work now, and in 10 years from now, I won't be embarrassed by a take.
That's amazing.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Cocaine. Which will become legal at some point, so still pro coke.
It will. This podcast will age very well.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. It's like, they talked about mushrooms and cocaine on that podcast in 2023. Do you know how far ahead Sammy and Bro, they was ahead of their time, dog.
Right. Unlike people who do a lot of cocaine, this podcast will age well. Thank you, Felonious. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Great time.
Of course.